sedative, hypnotics. Now, understand the difference between these two words. Only the difference is degree of action. Sedatives will calm you down, whereas hypnotic will produce sleep which resembles natural sleep. So it's like calming down is sedation, taking to sleep is hypnosis. So sedative, hypnotics. Now, again, the moment you say sedative hypnotics, what is their job? Their job is to calm you down and put you into sleep. That is, they're causing CNS depression. Now, before getting into that, you need to understand about our sleep. Now, sleep has popularly got two phases up there: REM phase and NREM phase. When we all get into the sleep, we all have two different phases. REM means rapid eye movement, and NREM means non-rapid eye movement phase. Usually, how it will be is 75 to 80% will be in NREM phase, and then 25 to 20% will be in REM phase. What do you mean by that? Rapid eye movement means even though you're sleeping, the eyeball movement will be very rapid. At that particular phase, people will get sleep and kind of brain activity. According to that activity, eyeball movement will be there. Whereas NREM sleep is a deep sleep wherein you don't have any eyeball movement is there, and you will have a pleasantful, peaceful sleep. So usually when you see in an hour, 40 to 50 minutes you will have NREM sleep, and then 10 to 15 minutes you will have REM sleep. It is like a cycle. You don't get a complete stretch of sound sleep. It is intermittently with REM sleep. Now, why this happens is it is a kind of evolutionary thing. You know, modern man life is very less. This is what 2020, and before in BC time there are around 3,000 years ago. So totally the modern man life is around 5,000 years. But human beings stayed in caves for 50,000 years. So most of the modification adaptations which you see in the human body is from caveman physiology. When people used to live in caves, there were no doors were there. They were in caves. So any animal can come in night and take the human being away. In order to avoid that, people used to have this kind of disturbed sleep. Any lightest sound, you get up. You know, even if you are sleeping, if someone turns on the light will give you sensation and you will get up. Yesterday, we have seen about RAS, reticular activating system. Reticular activating system is connected with optic and auditory things. So any sound, it will give you wakefulness. Any light, it will give you wakefulness. Smell, no, it is not connected. These two will be connected. So it's all evolutionary things, and the sleep is divided like this. So when people take sedative and hypnotics, the REM sleep will get reduced and people will get more quality sleep time. So that is what happens. And how do that? They cause CNS inhibition. The excitation will not be there. A kind of CNS depression is caused. Now, the major agents in this class are barbiturates and benzodiazepines. Barbiturates and benzodiazepines. Now, both of them, their job is they will be acting on a receptor known as GABA A receptor. See, gamma aminobutyric acid neurotransmitter will be acting on two kinds of receptors: GABA A, GABA B. GABA A is an ion channel receptor. The ion is chloride ion, whereas GABA B is a metabotropic receptor or G protein coupled receptors. So they will be acting on GABA A receptor. Now, see, when GABA binds with this receptor, GABA is a natural neurotransmitter which is present in our brain. When the GABA binds with this receptor, the channel opens, and opening of the channel results in chloride conduction. Chloride conduction, what happens? It results in hyperpolarization. Hyperpolarization. So remember this, the moment depolarization is there, it is excitation. Hyperpolarization is CNS depression. So GABA, during night times, GABA transmission is more, that is where you get sleep, kind of CNS depression is. Now, so GABA is an ion channel. When it binds with the receptor, the channel opens, chloride conduction occurs, that results in hyperpolarization. Now, barbiturates will bind with GABA receptor, but not at this GABA binding place. Imagine, let's say the receptor is like this. Imagine this one is GABA receptor. Now, this one is a GABA binding site. So when GABA goes and binds at this site, it causes chloride conduction. Chlorides will be getting into the cell, and that is what causes hyperpolarization. Now, barbiturates has got a different binding site. Barbiturates will be binding here. This is barbiturate. Now, once barbiturate binds there, it has got two effects. One, GABA mimetic action, and then GABA facilitator action. Now, what do you mean by that? GABA facilitation is different with GABA mimetic. GABA mimetic means it is mimicking the actions of GABA. What is the action of GABA? Open this chloride channel and cause chloride conduction. So when barbiturates bind here, they by themselves opens the chloride channel and chloride gets inside. That is GABA mimetic action. Whereas GABA facilitating action is when barbiturates binds at this junction, they enhance the binding of GABA to this receptor. When GABA binds here, again channel opens, multiple chloride ions gets inside. So two kinds of actions are there. One, GABA mimetic action, and the one GABA facilitator action. What is GABA mimetic is? When barbiturates binds to this, it imitates the actions of GABA, that is opening the chloride channel and getting chloride inside the cell. GABA facilitator, when it binds, it enables the GABA to bind with the channel so that chloride conduction happens. Two actions are there. Now, benzodiazepines also binds with the same receptor, but it has got a different site. Now, benzodiazepines will be binding at a different site. Now, what is the action of benzodiazepine? Benzodiazepine acts only as facilitator. What do you mean by facilitator? When benzodiazepine binds with the receptor, they enhance the binding of GABA with the receptor and chloride conduction is increased. See the difference? Barbiturates has got two actions, GABA mimetic, GABA facilitator. They themselves can open the chloride channel, but benzodiazepines, no. They themselves cannot open the channel, only they enhance the binding of GABA to the receptor and enables chloride conduction. Whatever the action, the final result is chloride conduction, increased chloride conduction, and that is what results in hyperpolarization and then inhibitory neurotransmission. Now, some of the interesting things are there with this one. There is a drug called as bicuculline. Let me show you here. There is a drug called as bicuculline. Now, this agent goes and binds at this site where GABA binds and blocks the site. You know, if you remember in pharmacodynamics, this site is known as orthosteric site, and other than this site are known as allosteric sites. So, barbiturate and benzodiazepines are allosteric modulator of GABA channel. Orthosteric site is this one. Now, bicuculline will go and block this site. When this site is blocked, GABA cannot bind. If GABA is not binding, CNS depression will not occur, and this can act as a potential epileptogen. If you remember, what happens in epilepsy? The continuous CNS excitation is what results in causes epilepsy. If inhibitory neurotransmission is there, it results in continuous excitation, and that causes epilepsy. So when GABA, the natural ligand, is blocked by using this bicuculline, it results in epilepsy. Now the other one, there is a class of agents known as beta carbolins. Beta carbolins, they will bind at this benzodiazepine site. Now, what is the effect of benzodiazepine when it binds? It facilitates the binding of GABA. Whereas when beta carbolin binds here, it blocks the binding of GABA. So it is opposite to the action of this benzodiazepine. Hence, they are popularly known as inverse agonist. Inverse agonist. So it is not antagonist. Antagonist is just blocking the receptor without any intrinsic activity. But what are these drugs doing? They go and bind with the receptor. Affinity is there. But what is that intrinsic activity? Opposite to this agonist. What is the agonist action? When benzodiazepine binds there, it enables GABA binding. But when beta carbolins binds there, it reduces GABA binding. It is opposite to the action of agonist. Hence, they are called as inverse agonist. One more drug is there, known as flumazenil. Now, flumazenil is this receptor antagonist. It is a true blocker. The moment you say antagonist, what do you mean by antagonist? It has affinity to bind with the receptor, but it blocks the active site. So it goes, blocks the site. When it is blocking the site, benzodiazepine cannot bind, beta carbolins cannot bind because the site is blocked. So like this, lot of drugs will be acting on this receptor. There is one more drug called as picrotoxin. Picrotoxin will be binding somewhere else site, and again it blocks chloride conduction. Hence, it is also causing epilepsy. The moment you block chloride conduction, inhibitory neurotransmission is there. It may cause excitatory neurotransmission, and that is what results in epilepsy. So this is about GABA A receptor. Let me revise this again. See, GABA is a natural neurotransmitter. It is an inhibitory neurotransmitter. The prominent inhibitory neurotransmitter in CNS is GABA. Now, GABA A is ionotropic channel, whereas GABA B is metabotropic receptor. In GABA A, what happens in GABA A is a chloride channel. When GABA binds to this receptor, it opens the chloride channel. Chloride conduction is increased. When chloride conduction is increased, chloride causes hyperpolarization. Hyperpolarization is nothing but inhibitory neurotransmission. Now, on the same receptor, there are two classes of drugs are acting on that. Benzodiazepines, barbiturates. Both of them are known as allosteric modulators. They are called as allosteric modulators. Now, why allosteric modulators? The natural binding site is known as orthosteric site. Other than any other site is known as allosteric site. To this site, the drugs bind and they modulate the channel activity. Now, what happens with barbiturate? Barbiturates has got GABA mimetic, GABA facilitator actions. Means when they bind to the receptor, they themselves will open the channel, chloride conduction will be there. Facilitator, when they bind with the receptor, they enhance the binding of GABA to the receptor. Whereas benzodiazepines, they have only one action, that is GABA facilitator. They themselves cannot open the channel. The other thing, there is a drug called bicuculin which can directly bind to this orthosteric site, blocks the site, antagonist. And if that happens, that results in epilepsy. The other drugs called, there is a family called as beta carbolins. They are known as inverse agonists. Why? Beta carbolins binds the site at which benzodiazepine binds, but they show opposite action of benzodiazepine. What is the action of benzodiazepine? It enhances the binding of GABA to the receptor. Beta carbolin inhibits the binding of GABA to this receptor. So hence, they are known as inverse agonists. Finally, flumazenil is an antagonist. If benzodiazepine poisoning occurs, flumazenil is used. It blocks the receptor. Benzodiazepine cannot bind, beta carbolin cannot bind. One more drug, picrotoxin, can also bind with the receptor and block chloride conduction and may cause epilepsy. So this is about the channel. Now, let us see about barbiturates. Now, in case of barbiturates are classified